Hello guys, today I would like to go through the Form 3 syllabus revision for Chapter 3, Consumer Mathematics, Savings and Investment, Credit and Debt. So I will read through this topic so that we can have a clearer revision, clearer picture, before the mathematics paper for SPM exam. Now let's get started with what we will learn for this topic: savings and investments, credit and debt management. So let's go through. What do you learn this chapter? Knowledge of savings and investments can help us to manage our finances. So let me highlight manage our finances. The concept of saving and investments is used in banking, real estate, business, finance, accounting, and so on. Many a little makes a maker. The above proverb means it is a good habit to save money for the future. Saving habits that have been practiced since childhood can help a person cope with any emergency. Investments made by any individual must be in a timely manner in accordance with the current market. Let's exploring the era. The barter system was practiced before the use of money in the economy and was the earliest form of business in the world. History of money development began with the evolution of human civilization itself, which was around 2000 BC. You may scan the barcode for the Buku text, Mathematics Form 3, Exploring Era Chapter 3. For this chapter, you need to master the word bank, liquidity, interest, debt, interest rate, credit, investment, loan, personal loan, return, savings. So all these are important keywords for this topic. Now let's go through savings and investment. What are savings and what are investments? Savings refer to excess money deposited in the safe money box or drawer. Extra money can be deposited at a bank that will provide returns based on interest rates and savings period. There are some common ways of savings in the bank. Saving accounts. The saving account holder can save any amount according to his ability. The account holder receives the interest based on the total amount and duration of savings. Interest rates are lower compared to fixed deposit accounts. The account holder can withdraw the savings at any time, and the saving can be withdrawn by using a debit card via an automatic teller machine or ATM. So that is about saving accounts. What about FD, fixed deposit account? is a sum of money is saved for a certain period of time, such as 3 months or 9 months or even 1 year tenure. Account holder will be offered more competitive interest rate compared to saving accounts. Savings cannot withdraw before the maturity date. If the money is withdrawn before the maturity, the actual interest rate that should be received will be reduced and will be cancelled at a certain time. So, a savings certificate will be issued to the account holder. What about current account? Let's have a look at current account. Current account, savings in a current account can be used for personal or business purposes. The account holder may make payment to another party by check. Saving in the account will not be paid interest, and is subjected to service charges. However, there are certain banks that pay interest to the current account holder. The current account applicant must submit a referral who is an existing current account holder at the same bank to open the account. In addition to checks, normal withdrawals are usually allowed via debit cards and other channels such as internet banking, telephone banking, and so on. The account holder can enjoy an overdraft facility that is withdrawing money beyond the balance of the deposit, but with interest charges. Okay, let's go for investment. It's an alternative step for future returns in the form of current income and capital gains. Type of investment such as follow: unit trust, shares, and also real estate. So we have 3 types of investment. Now let's talk about shares. A company will issue shares for the purpose of raising capital. Share is for company to raise the capital. An individual who purchases shares from the company is the owner of the company under certain conditions. The shareholder will receive returns in the forms of the dividends and capital gains. Right? That's about the share. Now let's go to unit trust. Trust fund is controlled by a unit trust company that managed by a qualified professional manager in the field of investment. Those who have no knowledge of the purchase of the share can get help from the unit trust company to manage their money. Unit trust companies collect money from investors, and the money is invested in various potential companies with the aim of providing returns that benefit the investor. Now let's go through investment returns comprised of current income and capital gains. Return on current income, example, rents, dividends, bonus of the shares. Capital gains, additional or increased investment value from its original amount. For example, stock prices rose from 2 ringgit to 2 ringgit 20, thus the addition of 20 cents was an increase in investment value. Now let's go to another type of investment, which is real estate. Investments on immovable assets, such as residential houses, shops, lands, and other investment in real estate. Investors should consider various aspects before investing. Factors to be considered in real estate investment are economic situation, income generating capabilities, that is, rent, location, and property prospects in the future. Individuals who invest in real estate will receive an investment return in the form of rent and capital gains. Is the purchase of life insurance and health insurance considered an investment or savings? What is your answer? You may try to discuss with your friend. Right. So let's go through the benefit of savings. This is the most important subtopic. Interest for savings are rewards paid by financial institutions, such as banks to depositor. The interest can be divided into two types, namely simple interest and compound interest. Let's talk about simple interest. Simple interest is a reward given to the depositor at a certain rate. Reward at a certain rate on the deposit amount principal for a certain period of time in years. So example, let's go through the example. Encik Jainal deposit 4,000. 4,000 is the principal at Bank Bunga Raya with interest rate of 2% per annum. How much is interest earned by Encik Jainal after 1 year? So the principal deposited by Encik Jainal is 4,000 and the rate of interest is 2%. So let's multiply the 2 per 100 times 4,000. So it's 80 ringgit for the interest. After 1 year, the interest earned by Encik Jainal is 80 ringgit times 1 year. Right? So rate is given in percentage form. Thus, we must divide the rate by 100. Remember to divide by 100. If the time is given in months, do not forget to change the years by dividing by 12 months, right? Because it's per year. The simple interest can be calculated using this formula. I equal to PRT. I is the interest and the P is the principal, R is the rate, and T is the time in years. Let's see example 2. Encik Badru deposits 5,000 in the bank with an interest rate of 3% per annum for a period of 2 years. 5,000, 3% per annum for a period of 2 years. Calculate the total interest that Encik Badru will receive for 2 years period. So the P is 5,000. The rate is 3% or 0.03 and the time is 2 years. So by using I equal to PRT, we can calculate the interest earned for the 2 years, which is 5,000 times 3 over 100 times 2, which is equivalent to 300. Right, that's about the interest. Ms. Wong deposit 10,000 at Bank Muni with an interest rate of 4% per annum. calculate 4% per annum, calculate the amount of interest Miss Wong received after 6 months. So the interest are equal to PRT 10,000 times 4 over 100 times 6 over 12 because it's in months. So don't forget to divide by 12. Right. So the answer is 200. What is the impact on the simple interest as a result of changing the saving period? The changes in saving period in a bank give different returns. Injit Nazri deposit 8,000 in the bank Desa. Interest rate is 3% per annum. Calculate the total saving for Injit Nazri after he saved for 2 years. Right. Time is 2 years. Interest is PRT. So the amount of money is 480 ringgit. So the total saving at the end of the second year is principal plus the interest of 8480 ringgit Malaysia for 3 years. 3 years. The interest earned is 8,000 times 3 over 100 times 3. So it's 720. So total saving at the end of the year is 8,000 plus 720. So it's ringgit Malaysia 8,720. Based on the example above, it is found that the longer the saving period at the bank, the higher the amount of interest earned. Therefore, final amount of saving also increase. What is the impact if the given interest rate differ from the same principal? That what is the impact on the total annual returns if interest rates are different for the same principal? The total annual return received surely will be different, son. Let's see example 5. Mr. Wanmati deposits a sum of 5,000 at a bank. What is the amount of Mrs. Wanmati's saving after 1 year if the interest rate given is 5% per annum for A, for B is 6% per annum? What is the difference between the amount of interest earned? Okay, for 5,000, 5%. So use R equal to PRT. The interest earned 250 1 year. Okay, for total saving after 1 year, you have to add with the principal. So it's ringgit Malaysia 5,250. If with the same principal, 5,000, the interest rate is 6%. So, of course, the interest I equal to PRT after you calculate will be 300. So the total amount will be 5,300 ringgit Malaysia. So the difference between the total interest received is actually 300 minus 250. So the interest is different by 50 ringgit. Based on the example 5, for the same principle, when the interest rate increase, the saving at the end also increase. So the higher the interest rate, the higher the return. The lower the interest rate, the lower the return. Okay, compound interest. This is very important. Now let's have a look at what is compound interest. Compound interest is calculated based on original principal and also accumulated interest from the previous period of savings. Compound interest is different from the simple interest. Okay, it's different in terms of amount of saving to be used for interest calculation. For compound interest, the frequency of compounding on the principal can be different. For example, compounded once a year, compounded once a year, or once every 3 months, and so on. Referring to example 4a, if Inject Nazrin is given compound interest with compounded once a year, what is his saving at the end of the second year? So in the first year, the amount of interest received is 240, right? The amount of saving at the end of the first year is 8240. For the second year, the amount of saving used for interest calculation is 8240 principal plus the first year interest. Thus, interest at the end of the second year will be 8240 times 3 over 100, which is 247 ringgit 20 cents. Therefore, the amount of Inject Nazrin saving at the end of the second year will be 8240 plus 247 ringgit 20 cents. So the total is ringgit Malaysia 8487 ringgit 20 cents. Right, so this is a compounded interest. Now I would like to introduce to you, this is a very important formula for calculating the compound interest, which is so-called matured value, right? MV. It's given by P principal, and then the bracket, inside the bracket is 1 plus R over N. Then to the power of NT. The P is the principal and R is the yearly interest rate. And what about N? N is the number of periods the interest is compounded per year. And T is terms in years. Right? So let's go through to the Inject Nazrin's example. It was found that principal is 8,000, interest rate is 0.03, and N is 1 and T is 2. So the matured value is 8,000. Substitute 1 plus interest rate will be 0.033%. Have to convert to decimal over 1 year, and because it's compounded, N equal to 1 and time is 2 years. So total amount matured value is ringgit Malaysia 8,487 ringgit and 20 cents. Right, so let's see the example 6. At the beginning of the year, Mrs. Liu Feng saved 15,000 in her saving account with a rate of 4% per annum and compounded every 6 months. What is Mrs. Liu Feng's total saving at the end of the third year? So principal 15,000, interest rate is 0.04, N is 2, and T is 3. So by substitute into matured value. So the answer is 15,000 bracket 1 plus 0.04 over 2, then bracket 2 times 3. So the answer is 16892.44. For the example 7, a bank offers a 5% interest rate per annum. 5% interest rate per annum for saving in a fixed deposit account. If Puan Wahida saved 10,000 at the beginning of the year, how much money in her fixed deposit account at the end of the year if interest is compounded once every 3 months? So the principal is 10,000, the rate is 5% or 0.05, and time is 1. So by substitute into the formula matured value, so compounded 3 months, so that means the N will be equal to 4, right? Because 1 year is 12 months divided by 3, so it's 4 times of the interest being compounded. So by substituting into the formula 10,000 bracket 1 plus 0.05 over 4 to the power of 4. So the answer is 10,509 ringgit 45 cents. If let's say is compounded once a month, 1 year we have 12 months, so the n is 12. So that means the measured value will be 10,001 plus 0.05 over 12 to the power of 12 times 1. Then the answer will be 10,511 and 62 cents. So in this example, it was found that when the compounding frequency increases, the future value of saving also increases. So let's see example 8. Mr. Charles deposits 6,000 in a fixed deposit account at the Bunga Bank Berjaya for 2 years with an interest rate of 6% per annum. What is the difference between the amount of interest Mr. Charles earned if he was given compound interest once every 4 months compared to simple interest? So if we calculate the simple interest, I equal to PRT, we notice that the interest is just 720. But if we use compounded interest, the measured value, 6,000 bracket 1 plus 0.06 over 3 times 3 divided by 3, then to the power of 3 times 2, then the matured value is 6756.97. So the total accumulated interest is 6756.97 minus out the principal 6,000. So the amount of the interest is 756.97. So thus the difference in amount between simple interest and compounded interest once every 4 months is actually the difference of 756.97 minus 720. So there is a difference of 36 ringgit 97 cents. Based on the example 8, it's clear that saving with compound interest give higher return than saving with simple interest. Right, so we will stop here to be continued in my next video sharing. Till then, bye bye and have a nice